the young and foreign.
Kick to the gut!
Your podcast sucks!
Welcome to a special Halloween edition of Kick to the Gut.
Bro, where's my special effect, bro? I got no sound effect.
Sorry, only I get to play around with the special effects, huh? It is Misty Young.
And it's foreign in the building, bro.
What's going on?
First and foremost, I gotta show you something special, bro.
Oh, okay. What are you showing me? Bro, first thing you do,
Look in my eyes!
like
What do you
Rigatoni!
And Seth Rollins.
Oh, God. So I see you are supporting shopaew.com, a pro wrestling tees offshoot, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason for it as well. I mean, it's this guy's birthday. He's a recent birthday boy as well. And also happened to be, I was a recent birthday boy. So, I mean, right. I gotta buy a gift for myself and support one of my favorite wrestlers, right?
So you bought something from the birthday boy for your birthday?
Kind of.
Nice.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah, but shout out to Shazana from WrestleFest Asia. She's the one that put the deal together, man.
Huh? No kidding. Wait. What? How did she pull strings to get you the shirt?
Oh no! I think she was doing like a mass order. I think she just put it on her private account, and she was saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna order like a lot of stuff from the US." So this shit came along as well.
Is it cheaper if you like bulk order or something?
I got this for 35, bro.
Oh, okay.
Decent, huh?
I guess for a wrestling tee. Anyway, how are you doing? Welcome to chat, people. Irvin, it's good to see you as well. If you're listening to this after the fact, well, we are sort of taking a look back at what went down last week. You know, this past weekend was Halloween. Not that we celebrated much of it in Singapore, to be honest, right? But yeah, we're here to talk about the Halloween shenanigans that has gone on in pro wrestling today.
Yeah, and it's not just HalloweenHavoc, man. I mean, this entire week in wrestling, every single wrestling show had some sort of Halloween themed event. So I think it's a nice way to like kind of relook at it and also talk about Halloween memories throughout wrestling, you know? For
better or for worse, lah. Let's just put it that way, okay? Because it's a fine line. You know, honestly, it's a fine line. We understand, well, I understand this is sports entertainment. As long as you're sports entertained, you shouldn't try to, you know, poke too many holes in it. But sometimes it's like, okay, what do you take me for? An asshole? Like an idiot? Like, come on, man. Stop insulting my intelligence.
I thought like writing 101, this generation, like there's no such thing as like you can't insult your audience intelligence. That's like the first rule of like writing nowadays. Like you can't do that. Everyone's so clued in and smart, right?
Yeah, well, but then again, we have what we had this past week. So, you know, it is what it is. But before we do anything though, first of all, once again, we want to wish Foreign a very happy birthday. And stick around, okay? Because later on Kick to the Gut, we are gonna get a preview. If you haven't seen it yet, then it's new to you, okay? It's a preview of Foreign's new music video.
Woo! Okay, I think they all need to put in the sound effect then.
There you go. That's right. Deadlock, the song is out on Spotify. It's out on YouTube as well. Hey, do us a favor, go check it out. You know, stream it. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Stream it on those platforms. Put it on repeat. Listen to it while you're showering. Listening to it while you're at the gym. It'll get you pumping.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. I really appreciate all the love that everyone sent. Like DMing me, saying like how much they enjoyed the song, and a lot of them realized or recognized the wrestling references that I dropped in, a few bars here and there. I hope you did too as well, my brother.
Oh, for sure. I mean, sharpshooter, best there is, best there was. I mean, come on, man, you can't miss those as a true blue wrestling fan, right?
Yeah, man. And if you are a bit of a like more higher level, include in wrestling fan, you will notice the Sandman reference.
Oh yes, Sandman.
A lot of people thought it was Metallica, but I was like, there's a double entendre there. And of course, Boneyard.
No Singapore cane, bro.
No Singapore cane, thankfully.
Because Sandman must have Singapore cane, what, you know?
That's true.
Anyway, that being said, once again, I hope you are having a great Monday, a start to a brand new week, brand new month. It's freaking November already. And yes, let's get down to business, okay? Let's talk about Halloween. And, well, I mean, it's right there in the show title, right? Halloween Havoc, a throwback to WCW days, but NXT has since taken over the moniker. Like, you know, there's the saying, if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. I feel like this is going to be a very short podcast.
No, I mean, first of all, we have to like credit NXT because I think I don't know how the new direction is going to be like, but I do enjoy them bringing back all these throwbacks. They started it with HalloweenHavoc last year, and I remember I really enjoyed that show. Do you remember what happened last year's show?
Not really. What happened? Refresh my memory.
Remember Short Z was the host.
Oh yeah.
And then they had like that crazy Cameron
zombies.
Grimes and Dexter Loomis match.
There were zombies, bro. Zombies.
Yes, there was zombies as well. So I mean, like if you play into the fun of it,
but
you can get enjoy, right?
Yeah, sure. You know, like I said, we shouldn't take ourselves too seriously, especially during Halloween, right? For pro wrestling. But then if you looked at the card, I actually just pulled up the card for last year's Halloween Havoc. You had Johnny Gargano versus Damian Priest, proper wrestling match.
Yes.
Santos Escobar defeated Jake Atlas. Okay, that one a bit of a throwaway, huh? 3-minute squash match, yeah. Dexter Loomis and Cameron Grimes, yes, with the zombies and everything. Sure, that was a bit of a silly, but I mean, it's Cameron Grimes and Dexter Loomis, two very dialed in characters who are very much, you know, they are very, they totally bought into their own character. So at least it doesn't feel...
They know their character.
Yes. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez, yeah? In a singles match, good match. Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae in a tables, ladders, and scares match. So just looking at the card, you're like, oh shit, okay, there's a lot of good workers, good. Like, I don't remember specifically. All I remember were the zombies, unfortunately. Like we always say, it's about the moments, right? It's not so much about who had a great technical match.
Yeah, but is it crazy to think like 1 year ago how much the NXT landscape has changed? The workers has changed.
For the worse, unfortunately, like this NXT 2.0 Halloween Havoc really came across as an episode of WWF Superstars from the 80s. I'm sorry, but it really did. You know, and especially because it was Halloween, it really harkened back to the era. So one has to think, like, what is going on here? Are they really going for that vibe? Anyway, let's just take a look at the card, okay? Right off the bat, you want to set the tone. Yeah, great action, great working, no botches. Toxic Attraction versus Io Shirai and Zoe Stark versus Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada, Parisian, whatever the hell her name is.
I mean, 1/3 of that tag team matchup are like legitimately the best workers in the women's division.
Wait, who's the 1/3? I know Io Shirai is one, but who's the other one?
I mean, Zoe Stark is decent. Come on,
I
bro.
mean, she's not the best. You are like the best workers in the women's division. Like, oh, relax, lah, bro. Indy Hartwell, is that who you're talking about? Like,
okay. If you talk about Indy Hartwell, she's definitely a character more than a worker, if you think about it.
Yeah. Zoe Stark is also kind of like, all right, like there's a bit of character to her, but nothing really that jumps out. Like, you know that it's going to be bad when like 3 or 4 clips out of this match are featured on Botchamania, okay?
Okay, but first of all, let's give them some like some factors that come into the issue right now. Like the match was supposed to be a TL ladders match, right? Was it ladders match?
It was a ladder match, yes.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, the day before, Raw had like a ladder fatal 4-way main event. So maybe there was the issue of like putting too much of the same stipulation.
Okay, and you will see this again, right? Because there was a trick or street fight, which was done on SmackDown as well. But remember, NXT is non-canon anymore. Remember, they're brushing aside NXT. Like, oh, it doesn't exist. So
yeah, it's a bit more developmental, like you would say, right?
Like, it really feels like they think that, okay, nobody watches NXT, so they can do whatever the hell they want. They can repeat stuff, it's fine, right? But that's not the case. We wrestling fans watch everything, and it's on the same network as Raw. So, like, what are they doing?
And you're right. Like, some people say that maybe they are purposely trying to go down to this 80s, early 90s superstars vibe and really make it known the clear distinction between a developmental show and like the main show. And you can tell that they are really pushing the young stars. Like, Toxic Attraction is, of course, fairly new. I mean, like, in terms of looks, yes, they look great. In terms of working style, yeah, they are full of botches, sure. But this is the only way they can get their reps in.
Yeah, I guess.
Unfortunately, it's on live TV lah.
Chat, let us know if you're enjoying the new NXT 2.0 thus far, okay? I mean, you can tell from what I'm saying that NXT went from must-watch weekly wrestling to can-miss weekly wrestling. I'll be honest, NXT is the least, attractive of the whole lot now for me, which is sad. I used to love this show, and there's still a few OGs that are there. They're trying to get this thing going. They're trying to push it along.
I feel bad for you because I know you were a regular NXT watcher and you're supportive of the brand, right?
Yeah,
you're quite loyal to that.
Yeah. And now it's like all of a sudden it went from Discovery Channel, or Nat Geo, really hard hitting, informative, it doesn't insult my intelligence. Then all of a sudden it's Nickelodeon.
Wait, do you think, wrestlers aside, do you think the script writers or the people who were booking the matches changed as well?
Yeah. No, I mean, supposedly Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon now have their old purview of NXT 2.0, right? So you are getting these, I mean, it shows in the booking and in the storyline telling and just what is going on. And the fact that also they completely, they didn't just take away one or two guys. They took away a whole bunch of guys and replaced everybody with new, either they went over to All Elite or they moved on to the main roster, right? So you have a lot of new guys, and it doesn't help in a Halloween episode where everyone is dressed up, correct? That I'm like, who is this fella? They haven't had enough time to establish themselves. I still don't know who they are. I'm like, oh, is that Von Wagner, or is it that who I had no idea half the guys were, because they were in costume because it was Halloween.
And also, I think the problem is, you're right. They haven't had a chance to make a connection with the audience. And if it was a whole change of wrestlers, but the framework, the people who were booking the matches, the agents were the same.
Yeah.
The people who were writing, because I always consider NXT, their writing is much better, smarter.
Yeah.
So even if they had new wrestlers and all that, but they still had the same house rules, house style, it would be better. But I think the biggest problem with NXT is that they've changed the agenda has changed.
Yeah, the agenda.
You can clearly tell.
Yeah, the mindset. I mean, we've gone back to the whole occupation thing. There's this one guy who's a poker player. There's another guy who's a daredevil. It's what the... okay, when are we going to get Duke the Dumpster Josie again?
It's early 90s wrestling, right? That's the worst time of wrestling.
It's late 80s, early 90s, exactly. So anyway, we start with Toxic Attraction. And like I said, they have the look for sure. Well, Gigi Dolan has the look. JC Jane looks very bland to me. She looks... Is she the one that looks a bit like Britt Baker? One of them...
Or the other girl.
Yeah, one of them looks like... Gigi is very obvious because she has bright orange hair, right? And I mean, she hot, yo. I ain't gonna hate...
Do you know that she's the ex-wife of Darby Allin?
I do know. Actually, they broke up. I didn't even know they broke up. Okay.
Yeah. So this girl had
damn.
a cup of coffee in AEW, bro.
Yeah. I have more respect for Darby Allin. No, I'm kidding. Actually, no.
I mean, she
Yeah,
she's hot. She's hot. But the thing is, I feel what makes her even more interesting, I think she has a very fiery, unpredictable nature to her character.
Yes, she's wild child.
Yeah, makes her compelling to watch. But I agree, the other girl, the JC Jane, she hasn't really stood out.
Yeah. And well, guess what? They are your new NXT Women's Champions.
Yeah. It's clear that they're trying to push the faction more than the characters,
Yeah, and well, we'll see more of that in just a little while. But okay, other than the botches, what else stood out for you in this match?
I think...
Well, other than Io Shirai almost killing herself on one dive, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, that was a terrible... Okay, bro, I mean, like you said, a lot of the things came out in Botchamania, and I saw it myself on Instagram.
Yeah.
I do feel that it was the right time to put over Toxic Attraction. It might be early, but I think it's a good way to freshen up the tag team. That even though the tag team had good champions, but it was getting stale.
Oh, and it didn't even start that long ago. So this grouping was DOA almost. This odd couple grouping, right, that they were trying to go for, it just didn't work, and they're like, all right, I give up lah. Also, because this pairing started, didn't they start before NXT 2.0?
Yes, they did, and they were rivals at first.
So it feels like, okay, we want a fresh start. Let's just give it to Toxic Attraction. They'll probably move Io Shirai and Zoe Stark away, or maybe they'll feud with each other. Whatever the case may be, I'm done. Bored. Don't care.
You know what I want though? I feel that Io Shirai, I don't know whether she would make a good fit on the main roster or still keep her down in NXT. What do you think?
Wow. Like, after all the momentum she's lost, like, she would have been a great addition to the main roster a few months ago when she was on, like, her high, you know what I mean? And then now she's sort of completely been lost in the shuffle in NXT 2.0, and she's just like, I feel sad. I feel really, really. Let's have her come back and you know what? Re-debut together with Asuka as Kabuki Warriors 2.0. How about that?
Speaking of Asuka, where the hell is she, bro?
Rehabbing an injury. I saw an Instagram photo of her, like her arm was in a cast or something. So yeah, she is out with an injury. She's going to be away for a while. So yeah, just give Io Shirai a rest and then have them re-debut, or have if Kairi Sane wants to come back, all three of them for Kabuki Warriors faction. Why not?
Yeah, that would be awesome. But I feel like Io is ready for the main roster, but I think she can't do promos. So she needs to have someone like being with her as like a part of a package on the main roster.
Mouthpiece, like a mouthpiece. Speaking of which, right? Did Tiansha die in NXT 2.0? What happened to Tiansha? They, like, not that I want to see them or anything like that, but like,
bro, like not years ago, like when they started Tiansha, right? I thought this Mei girl is like the scariest looking motherfucker ever. I thought she's gonna be like the female Undertaker.
Yeah, and
now she's more like a.
And they don't.
I don't even know what bad comparison to give her.
Yeah, like their main warrior, their main fighter was Xia Li. It wasn't Boa. You know, Boa is busy, you know, wrestling on 205 Live now, not even on NXT. So it's like, and then Mei Ying, I haven't literally seen her in a proper match, and they've been losing. So I think they've given up. The creative has given up on Tiansha completely.
Yeah, and Xia Li, after she got injured, I think that was like a death knell for them as a faction, right? They couldn't possibly carry on. It's like, okay, bro, I tell you, it's like as if Hurt Business had Bobby Lashley injured and they're supposed to continue Hurt Business. It's impossible.
But I wouldn't even compare them to the Hurt Business, because at least the Hurt Business is MVP. MVP can upsell Shelton and Cedric Alexander, right? Tiansha has nobody. This would be like, okay, what's a jobber faction even? Think of a jobber faction. This would be like the Job Squad losing El Snow. Who gives a shit?
Or like Kai and Tai losing Taka Michinoku.
I would say that Funaki is funny on his own, okay? He is SmackDown #1 announcer.
Bro,
so
you know who can salvage this Tiansha faction, right?
No, don't give it to don't kill his career before it even starts. Okay, let him do his own thing. No, do not. Tiansha is tainted, is dirty already. Leave, go away. Don't touch it. Xia Li is gonna show up on SmackDown at some point. I do not look forward to it because I didn't think she was ready in NXT, and I don't think she's gonna be ready for SmackDown.
She still needs more seasoning. But I mean, then again, we have Aaliyah on the main roster. So it's not really the bar is that high to begin with, right, bro?
So, but what? Like, why though? That's quite sad, right? Like, you bring over Raquel Gonzalez, you bring over, Io Shirai, it makes more sense. You bring over Aaliyah.
No, I think Aaliyah is not really because she deserves it. It's because she's been in developmental for so long. I think they feel sorry for her lah.
Oh, so they just, all right, let's throw her out there. If it sucks, then we have a reason to let her go, is it?
Yeah. But it's like a pity promotion. That's what they call it, right?
That's sad. Okay, let's move on then. Joe Gacy versus Malik Blade. Malik Blade is like the default jobber guy. Oh, are we having lunch right now? What was that?
Yeah, brother. We gotta eat. We gotta drink. No, I'm having my flash coffee, bro. But it has a bit of Milo toppings on it.
Sweet. All right, somebody's gonna be hepped up on caffeine and sugar really soon. Gacy versus Malik Blade. Malik Blade is like, the guy when you see him come out, you know he's gonna be jobbing already.
But the thing is, right, bro, Malik Blade has had more matches on NXT than our Dante Chat.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why?
Okay, see, that's both a good and a bad thing. It's almost as if he gets more matches because he's the one putting over people. Whereas it seems like they want Dante Chen to win. So I'm actually okay with that.
They need to find the right places to like slot him here and there, right?
Yeah. At least Dante has been portrayed as strong so far, you know? Hopefully it stays. But Joe Gacy, what do you think of his gimmick? This left-wing, like ultra-liberal, safe space guy they're obviously trying to mock.
I feel like there is potential if given the right opponents to go against him. I think he's a good promo, in my opinion. Like out of all the new NXT talents, I think he's quite dialed into his character.
Yep.
So I want to see where or how far he takes it. And now he already got this, like, he got a side piece in Harlan, or the Brock Lesnar lookalike guy.
Yeah, mini Brock,
Yeah, so I think that's like a good pairing. I think that's kind of sinister. It's very... Yeah, it gives me like a newer version of Bray Wyatt, which Bray Wyatt, we're going to talk about Bray Wyatt soon. But yeah, like it gives me a new version of that. And I like if WWE can give us something different. Like, there's never been a gimmick like this before in wrestling.
Well, I mean, it's dialed into popular culture, right? So this, and it's already gotten people like upset. The left wing is like, oh no, are you mocking us, blah, blah, blah. So you're trying to cancel that character, which makes it even more...
like mocking the cancel culture.
Yeah, it's almost like how, and WWE loves to do this, right? Remember the right to censor?
Of course.
The more you try to shut them down, they'll be like, all right, let's put the right to censor out there, win all the titles. Biggest heels.
But we gotta agree, it has the most annoying theme song in wrestling history.
That's the whole point, right? Just to piss people off. So in that sense, can you imagine though, if they really put like a proper main eventer in right to censor? Like, I actually wouldn't have minded it because people really didn't like right to censor. Only thing is, I mean, their leader was Steven Richards. No disrespect.
That's a dead on arrival already, bro.
What's that?
No, that's dead on arrival already.
Yeah. Like, they had the Good Father, they had Ivory, which were all like solid mid-carders. But imagine if they had one main event guy.
You know who I think would have been the perfect like guy to lead right to censor?
Who?
Honestly, if he was still alive, I would think Owen Hart would have been perfect.
Oh, yeah. That made
like it would really push him to that main event, because I feel like he can use his like resentment for WWE for how he's been treated. Yeah. And then he becomes this bitter. I mean, he's always done well as this bitter guy.
He really does.
Character.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him in that suit and then like fighting The Rock for the title? I think that would be dope.
I think so. Yeah. So going back to Joe Gacy, and Irvin agrees, saying that Gacy's gimmick is good. Excesses of cancel culture have to be criticized. But here's the thing: he's being portrayed as a heel, right? And he is a hypocrite because he's like, this is a safe space, but yet he beats people up, and he has Harlan as his backup, and he's like this destructive monster, which is great. He's almost cult leader-esque. In a way, I feel like he is a 2021 version of Devon and Batista, if you think about it.
Ah, wow, what a throwback gimmick, bro.
So you have you have the preacher and the muscle. So this is like the preacher and the muscle. So it's that sort of a vibe. It's been done in wrestling over and over again, so there's nothing new, honestly. But bro, I
think low-key, this is a safe space. It's a great wrestling tagline.
Yeah, and he calls his people snowflakes, which is great also because that is the term that's used to, describe like weak millennials and shit like that, right? So it definitely plays in the popular culture. I don't hate it quite as much as some people do. Hopefully, though, at some point, Harlan needs to be the star here.
No, I think, right, if you can, wrestling in the future or going forward, right, I think it's okay if you have gimmicks per se, but don't be a 80s gimmick and give like, oh, this guy's occupation is his gimmick.
Oh, you mean the guy who's a poker player? You mean the guy who's...
Bro, no, that is like 80s, 90s, like pathetic WWF gimmicks. Yeah. I want gimmicks that is more nuanced like this. I think this is like their attempt at getting a more nuanced gimmick, and I have to appreciate that,
Well, we'll have to wait and see where this goes, because I right now do not have a lot of faith. My faith level in the NXT writing is like at an all-time low. So we'll see, okay? Roderick Strong with the Diamond Mine beat Odyssey Jones. Okay. So... I mean, Diamond Mine shenanigans. I mean, Odyssey Jones, everyone can see the potential, right? It's quite obvious. Big guy, great look,
Lovable guy,
lovable.
moves well. I mean,
Yeah.
he's Keith Lee. If Keith Lee was more happier looking.
Yeah, and he's like a likable big guy. He went up against Roderick Strong, who is a solid worker, just has zero charisma.
Can I tell you something very interesting?
Yeah.
Like, okay, Roderick Strong, like you say, right, no charisma guy, and they obviously trying to push Diamond Mine as this new Undisputed Era.
No, they are nothing like the Undisputed Era.
I know, but they're trying to. I mean, he's like the de facto like main guy. But the funny thing is, I feel like whether this is an indictment on WWE NXT, but Bobby Fish in his like 3 or 4 appearances in AEW is much more compelling than his 3 years in NXT ever was. Don't you agree?
I don't know if compelling is the word. He's been having good matches, and we all know that he's a very good worker, but I don't know if compelling is the word I would use.
He haven't stood out on his own, or never gotten a chance to stand out on his own in NXT.
Sure. Well,
but in AEW, I think the way he portrays himself, the way he carries himself, he looks like a more fully formed wrestler.
And let's not forget, he's been put up there against Daniel Bryan, CM Punk.
Yep.
So he's been like in main event matches, albeit in the losing end, but still, at least he's being portrayed as a high level guy. Whereas on NXT, he's like, and if you see the pecking order, it kind of makes sense too, right? Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, I forgot his name.
Roderick Strong.
He's so forgettable. I forgot his name. And of course, Adam Cole Bay, who's obviously like his shadow was so big, he kind of overshadowed the entire group. So right now with the Diamond Mine, though, I mean, Malcolm Bivens is a good heel manager, but he's like a mid-card heel manager, The Creed brothers, they look great. It's like all, I guess, living up to their name, it's a Diamond Mine. They're all diamonds in the rough.
Mm-hmm.
They just, even though Roderick Strong is supposed to be the leader, I don't get that feeling of, I'm supposed to fear, him.
Yeah, I think he needs to develop more of an edge. I mean, he is when he wrestles, I can get into him as a wrestler, but when on the mic or like leading the group, it's a bit hard.
Maybe we need to roughen up the Creed brothers. They are the muscle, right?
Yeah.
And then they have... You know what the funny thing is in terms of like the Diamond Mine is obviously supposed to be this MMA inspired group, right? You got Hachiman, who I have no idea what the fuck he's supposed to be. He's like the Arn Anderson. But he's just as useless because I haven't seen him really do anything. So you know what is the real life counterpart on AEW? If you think about it.
Don't tell me it's fucking American Top Team.
It is. Don't you think so? Like they have a bunch of legit shoot fighters, and can we just all agree that Paige Van Zandt has been the star of America's Top Team? And she needs to just become a pro wrestler and be a heel female because she's hot AF. She is legit.
She's eye candy.
Yeah. But beyond that, I mean, her reactions and everything are really, really good. Not so much Junior Dos Santos. I mean, that's a whole other story we'll get to maybe later.
Bro, can we... Is it a thing that is UFC like allowing them to appear on AEW? What's the situation there?
None of them are in the UFC other than I think Jorge Masvidal.
Oh, is it? So they're now they're what, Bellator? Most of them?
Paige Van Zandt is doing bare knuckle fighting. So they fight with no gloves, bare knuckle. I can't remember what Junior Dos Santos is doing already. Sorry, how are you doing, by the way? Yes, you heard PVZ and we're all very happy about PVZ.
Oh, is it? Yeah. We all love our PVZs. Okay, but wait, this is very interesting. So I feel, right, is there a world, outside of like, if you're not part of UFC, you're not part of WWE, I think you can interchangeably have a situation where, I want to do my mixed martial arts, my fighting, but also I can so-called moonlight as a wrestler, here and there, come in and out.
It's been done, bro. Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar,
Ken Shamrock,
and even going all the way back to the Japanese guys, the Pride guys. A lot of them were both pro wrestlers and shoot fighters at the same time.
Yeah, but I feel like having AEW there is a great vessel because of Tony Khan's, I wouldn't say leniency, but I think he's just open to promoting his wrestlers with multiple endeavors,
Yeah, that being said though, the biggest sin, the biggest bullshit move that they did with America's Top Team is put Junior Dos Santos in a match on free TV. I mean, I thought we could hold this till later, but I guess since we're talking about this now, why the fuck would you put a former UFC heavyweight champion, like someone of the top billing, like almost Brock Lesnar level already? Why would you put him at least? Okay, what's his face? Cain Velasquez. You build all the way to Crown Jewel. You fucking let them down at Crown Jewel. At least they bought the pay-per-view or the network, right? Yeah. Why would you give away Junior Dos Santos for free on TV? Is it a case of Tony Khan doesn't give a fuck about the money? He's like, I got money. I don't need to make pay-per-view buys. Like, I don't care.
And Junior Dos Santos is like, I know he's like one of the top heavyweights of all time. Yeah. But has he like retired from fighting?
I don't know.
He's just not in UFC anymore.
He's not. I think he's not in UFC. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't, like, it makes no sense. They should have built this up, right? And now you can't do it again. I don't want to see Junior Dos Santos because his working punches look like shit. I'm sorry, he's a fighter, right? He's not used to, like, not everyone can adapt to it like a Ronda Rousey or a Brock Lesnar and make it look great. And as we saw from Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos is another guy who, when he's trying to work his punches, it looks like absolute shit. And it makes him look bad.
The only person I feel is still left with that star potential, the attraction, is Jorge Masvidal. They need to keep Jorge Masvidal.
Yep.
If they want to choose him to be part of the wrestling team against Inner Circle, at Full Gear, yes, he needs to be the guy, because I feel like he's the only one that I think has that star crossover potential.
Yeah, he does. They've already jumped the gun. As far as I'm concerned, if they can have a double debut of Junior Dos Santos and Jorge Masvidal at Full Gear, they could like sell the shit out of it. But now, if you sell, Junior Dos Santos, I'd be like, I don't want to see that. I know he sucks in terms of working, you know?
I think, right, bro, I think Paige Van Zandt needs to have a match with like I don't know, someone that can kill her either.
No, Paige Van Zandt needs to come in and be like a Ronda Rousey. They can push her as a Ronda Rousey, and she
has the looks.
Oh, she's hot, but she could beat the shit out of I would even go so far as to have her beat up some of the guys, like beat up Joey Janela, beat up like fucking the librarian.
You always get the librarian,
beat up whatever, you know what I mean, right? But just have her, like, I mean, don't have her go and beat up your Darby Allins and your, like, you know, mid-card guys, main guys that you want to push. But have her like just and she's so easy to hate, but you can turn her into a face anytime you want as well.
I know which is the part where she sold me on her as like a wrestling character. Remember there's this one part, I think Jorge Masvidal like flying knee at Chris Jericho. Then Chris Jericho is on the ground, and then like the rest of the American Top Team don't know what to do. They're just walking around.
They blur.
But then this one time Paige Van Zandt take out her phone and started posing, and then Scorpio Sky behind like posing behind. And I was like, she does have the instincts for it, right?
Yeah, she is a natural heel. She gets it. She knows that, like, what to do in the ring to make herself look like an irritating shit lah. And meanwhile, the rest, you're right. The rest of the fighters were just standing like blur, like don't know what to do, you know.
I ask you something, bro. I mean, I'm sure you've watched her matches in MMA.
Yep.
Like, has she always had this like swagger? Like after she wins a fight, does she like pose for the crowd? Is that her?
No, it's not her. That's the thing. This is completely a different. Unless she started doing this when she started bare knuckle fighting, but in the UFC, she was just the pretty girl.
Because my reputation or how I know of her is like she's a fighter, but she always likes to post like nude or like do like sexy stuff on social media, right?
Thirsty. Yeah.
I mean, like she and her boyfriend or something like that. But I remember like they had like a naked couple photo shoot, that kind of shit.
Sure.
So like she's like very open about like her sex appeal. So I thought like maybe she was like the saber of UFC, like she's still ex-hot even after she beat up girls. I don't know.
Back then UFC were trying to push her as a babyface. They didn't necessarily try to over-sexualize her. She's just doing that on her own social media, like, you know, that's her whole thing, whatever. Irvin says Paige Van Zandt versus QT Marshall. Book it. I would love to see her beat the shit out of QT Marshall. Like that, I would actually want to see. But then she would be a mega face, so no, we need to keep her as a heel. She's an amazing heel.
No.
Let's go back to
keep her as a
NXT.
heel.
We completely sidetracked here.
It's okay. We're gonna touch back on AEW after this.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Man. Oh, wait, no. She changed her hair color. Now she's an angry lingerie model.
Hey, okay. Wait. Before we talk about Mandy, did you see the promo that NXT did hyping up this match between her and Raquel Gonzalez?
Yeah.
She put it on, I think the WWE put it on their social media. But it's like the comments were fucking funny, like, bro, this is a PG product, guys. this is not PG. Like, they really up her sexuality and they really make her look like this like sex kitten kind of vibe. But okay, I know, like, yeah, that's very like attitude era thing to do. But I feel for her character, it makes a lot of sense in a logical perspective with like, yeah, I've always been like looked down on because of my looks, and now this is my chance to prove my ability in the ring.
Yeah.
At least they tried to tell that story, which made her seem almost, not say she's not compelling, but seem almost make it like this will actually put her on an even playing field more than her wrestling ability.
Oh yeah, they definitely need to stick the glitz and glamour because, you know, her wrestling ability, unfortunately, is still not there, right? And, you know, it goes with the whole stable name anyway, Toxic Attraction. I guess that's the idea. Mandy Rose versus Raquel Gonzalez, trying to cosplay as The Undertaker, you know, riding in on her, albeit kick-ass bike. Let's not, excuse me, let's not deny she looked badass, but the match itself, did it really stand out to you in any way?
Okay, so when WrestleMania happened earlier this year, right? Remember the 3 champions that came out of that weekend? We had Raquel Gonzalez, we had Rhea Ripley on Raw, we had Bianca Belair on SmackDown. That felt like the future. And I remember there was this one backstage interview that they did. It's like, I hope all of us keep our titles and then we can have this big blow-off match in Survivor Series, right?
That's hilarious.
And then now, fast forward till today, all 3 of them has lost their titles.
Yeah.
It's a bit sad because, like, okay, for all her flaws, I still feel like Raquel is a great NXT Women's Champion. Like, I think she held the glue together, and I think there was so much more stories that could be told. And I don't know about you, bro. I was like I didn't have much of a reaction to Dakota Kai's return lah.
Yes. So okay, the Grim Reaper or some hooded figure smashed Raquel with a big shovel, and oh look, Mandy picks up the win. She's the new NXT champion. So Toxic Attraction have all the gold, which is not surprising, to be honest. It does seem like, okay, let's hit the reset button and give this new, quote unquote, new generation all the gold, right? Oh, by the way, this was a trick or street fight. Chucky's choice, apparently.
Yeah, bro, we didn't mention that Chucky was a guest throughout the whole show.
It's fine lah. It's the whole like, okay, we do cross promo. At least you didn't have zombies walking around. I mean, there was one zombie, but it wasn't too egregious.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. The thing that, okay, one thing I'm trying to make sense of NXT 2.0 as of now. I think the reason why they're pushing Toxic Attraction so much is I feel like they need to start having, this is weird to say, but star attractions on the show that people will want to tune in for. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does, because Raquel Gonzalez was quite bland as a face. Yeah.
But you know, no matter what shit people give Mandy for her wrestling ability or what, I know for a fact if I'm a casual fan, I'm like, oh my god, this hot girl is a champion. Okay, I'm just gonna check it out.
I mean, you look at the entire makeup of Toxic Attraction; they're all supposed to be like super hot.
Yeah, and all 3 caters to different types of guys' interests, right? So
is this Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon like wanking themselves like, yeah, let's give them all the titles. I want to see Toxic Attraction.
Yeah, and okay. I know you don't know whether you did watch Impact earlier in the decade.
Wait, no.
Remember this group called the Beautiful People?
Actually, yeah, I do. They were supposed to be all damn hot, right?
It's not that bad. So like, we had Velvet Sky, which is Baba Ray's wife, and then we had I forgot the rest of them lah. But all them were supposedly hot. Madison Rain, and then Angelina Love, and like they were really a huge part of the show. They were always in and around the knockout division title. So you had the great workers like the Gail Kim, the Karma, but like opening the show, a lot of the times it was beautiful people.
So basically, the whole idea is to get people's attention with, TNA.
Yes, that's one thing. But I also feel like they need to start padding out NXT with like people that I'm gonna tune in to watch for.
Okay, no, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, so if they quickly establish Toxic Attraction as like one of the main draws of their women's division, regardless for better or worse, like that people are going to tune in for them and how they are in and around the ring.
But okay, this only works for a while, right? Like they're hot, but then if you see them every week, they get boring. So how are we going to, make them interesting? So anything you do over and over again will get boring. So what is this slippery slope,
But I feel like they are the reason why they might work is because they are the hot, but they are heels. So for a fact that people will always want to cheer for whoever they go up against, and that's an opportunity for someone to step in as their babyface role.
So who's that going to be? I guess we'll see soon enough, because obviously Raquel and Dakota Kai are going to fight again. And are you even excited mildly by that?
I mean, the first go around, I wasn't that excited, so not really.
Yeah.
But there is one person I would like to see as a babyface challenging, though. I feel that she does have potential, but I think she just needs a bit more opportunities.
Ooh.
I like Saray. No, bro. Okay, Saray, right? I know she doesn't really translate well yet, but like I really think her moveset is very, very. I would say not. What's the right word?
Kenny Omega booking all the Japanese wrestlers, Joshi wrestlers on top. Like
no,
what?
Like I legitimately find her moveset quite exciting, and I think she can play a great babyface going forward.
At this point, it doesn't even seem like NXT themselves have any faith in her. Like she hasn't been on the show, and even if she has, she's been losing. So she hasn't been given the Asuka dominating role. She hasn't been the plucky. She's like any of the Joshi wrestlers in AEW. Just there.
If it was me, right?
My gimmick is un-Japanese.
Yeah. I would have personally liked if Shotzi was still in the division. I think Shotzi would have made a great babyface potential. I don't know whether Ember Moon time has passed or not.
What happened to her? Is she just biding her time? Is she going to be all elite soon?
I don't know whether she's got injured again or not, bro.
Yeah.
Not too sure. But yeah, like all these baby faces, like I said, the opportunity is there. Someone needs to step out and take it.
I guess we'll see like in the next few weeks who that person is going to be. And, I think what they're trying to do too with Mandy Rose, it feels like they're trying to build a dominating, almost like a Roman Reigns-esque, but just a very, a sexy version. But... a not quite as imposing version of Roman Reigns. I think that actually makes more sense. If Mandy Rose were to hold that women's title for a long time, and she'll have all these, fresh baby faces challenging her, cannot do it. Who's that one that's going to do it?
It will make a lot of sense, I think, from her storyline character perspective as well, because she always was biting or bidding her time for opportunity, and now she finally got it, and she's gonna do whatever it takes to keep the title on her. And bro, you have to understand that there's this one woman in our female wrestling history that has proven everyone wrong in terms of from being a terrible worker with just looks, and then she eventually became a 7-time women's champion in Trish Stratus.
Right.
So you can never count out Mandy Rose that she might be able to follow in that footsteps.
I love that you have so much faith in Mandy Rose. I love it.
Bro, come on, bro. Mandy is our Mandy.
All right, let's move on to a Lumberjack-O-Lantern tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Imperium versus MSK. Have people been booing MSK?
Yes.
I somehow I never noticed, because you know why? I tune out when it's an MSK match.
Bro, they are the most fucking blandest baby faces ever, bro.
Right? Like, how did that even happen? Aren't they supposed to be the exciting Street Profits light?
So apparently, do you hear the story that one of the MSK members talked shit about one of the fans in Orlando?
Oh.
And it pissed off the mother. And then the mother probably got everyone, all the audience to every time MSK match you go boo them. So there's some sort of drama going on there, which I'm not too aware about. But I think it goes back to the point, right, bro? I think MSK are just very bland. Like they are okay, their moveset is interesting, sure, but that's like top flight in AW. Or like that is
private
like
party.
the private party. Like they are fun, but that doesn't mean they're gonna be the tag team champions running the division. Right? I think Imperium being the champion is long time coming, bro. They are beasts.
Yeah. And they have like a proper, like understandable gimmick. Like, oh, they're these serious guys who won't, take shit. Whereas MSK, they're sort of here and there. They're fun. They're in the know, but they're actually very irritating. Like whatever lah.
Yeah.
So,
bro, Imperium is now a 3-man team, right?
Yes. I mean, if Walter ever like shows back up again.
Yeah, the Alexander Wolf I know got kicked out, but is Walter? Okay, do you hear about the news that Walter and Cesaro is gonna be headlining a few NXT UK shows during November, December? Yeah. I saw they released like a live event dates, so they're gonna bring NXT UK out on tour again. This holiday period, and bro, like the shows they are going is like around like all the major UK cities, so they're gonna like start a national tour.
Nice. And
they say the headline is just gonna be all 4 dates are gonna be headlined by Walter versus Cesaro. I mean, like that's gonna be fucking badass, bro.
It is badass for NXT UK, but that means Cesaro is not getting any sort of a push anytime soon, which brand did he even get drafted to? I don't even know.
Bro, he was in SmackDown, remember?
Is he still in SmackDown after the draft?
Yeah, he stayed on SmackDown. So I feel
he
like...
He disappeared.
Clearly, he can't challenge for Roman Reigns right now. He's not at that level. I would personally like him to be a IC champion. Don't you think so? I think he would be a great IC champion.
Oh, no,
Has he ever been Intercontinental champion though?
I don't remember. But isn't Shinsuke busy with Happy and Madcap?
Yeah, so it's like they're having the rivalry and nobody wants to watch lah.
Oh my god! Can we talk about how Baron Corbin went from this heel that nobody liked to a heel that we kind of respect because he, kept playing the heel, to a lovable loser, to now the most X-Pac heat guy ever.
Like you can't say that his career is not interesting though.
But it's like it's frustrating for us, I think, because it's like we see the potential there, but now he's just become this very... It's the gimmick, not him. He's just trying to play the gimmick and have fun with it, but it's just so like... And then with Madcap Moss, Riddick Moss coming up making the worst jokes. Like, I get what they're trying to do, but it's really X-Pac heat at this point.
You know how they can redeem Baron Corbin in my eyes?
Beat up Madcap Moss?
No, they need to just release a 24 documentary about Baron Corbin's year. 365 on Baron Corbin, like all the multiple gimmicks that he went through this past year. I think people will like just feel sorry for him and think like, oh, this guy deserves better, man.
Yeah, he's sitting here. Today I got an email. They're telling me I need to laugh a lot. Like, what the fuck?
Today I'm filming this scene in Las Vegas as a casino. I mean, this is what you do as a wrestler, man. Sometimes you just gotta be on the ball and shit. Like that. That would really make people like love him. Because do you remember when he was being the lovable loser?
Yeah.
And they did all these like social media videos of him like walking to the arena and then not getting let in.
Yeah. It was funny. It was just. It was small. It was not like obviously, over filmed and produced crap, right? It's not something they were shoving down our throats. It was just, and then you add to that, Pat McAfee just shitting on him.
Yeah. And how I know that gimmick was so over was remember during the SummerSlam build-up and John Cena, I think before John Cena came to sign the contract or something, that he rushed in the ring, he threw out Finn Balor and he signed his name on the contract. Yeah. He tried to sign his name and the crowd popped. The crowd was like, yes, sign it.
Yeah. Like you legitimately had a moment in time where he could have been the biggest baby face there.
Yeah, in a weird ass way. So I feel like, I think as a WWE supporter, one of the gripes that I always have is they seem to not be able to capture, they can capture lightning in the bottle accidentally, but they have no idea how to harness it and use that momentum to actually propel their stories forward. Yeah,
either they drill it into the ground until it's like annoying, or they just, this is a one-off, it's not going to happen again, and they just don't see it and let it go lah. So I don't know lah. Yeah. I mean, it's easy for us to sit back an armchair quarterback, but I will say that every time it's a Madcap Moss and a Happy Corbin segment, I tune out. I cannot anymore already.
It's tough lah. Okay, well, you got to talk about the last thing on NXT, the main event.
Yeah. Well, before we do that though, backstage segment. So next week, Cameron Grimes, who dressed up as a spaceman, NASA spacesuit, get it, to the moon. Haha. I thought that was a nice touch, right? Who apparently is having girl problems. He can't get no chicks. So that's his whole gimmick now, right? He's going to be in Duke. What's that guy's name? The poker guy.
Duke Hudson, is it?
Yeah, he's going to be in Duke Hudson's poker lounge. He's going to play poker with Duke Hudson. So I'm like, okay, is he going to lose all his money now playing poker? So a reverse Corbin?
As bad as the Duke Hudson's gimmick come across, right?
Yeah.
In my mind, I feel like if they do it right, this can be like this era's APA backstage segments. If they do it right.
Yeah, they don't have a Bradshaw and a Farouk, and this is a completely different vibe. It's going to be... Okay, if anything, I can feel safe that Cameron Grimes will make it work because he's made everything work so far.
Yeah.
But
I agree. But I feel like
this seems like a way to put over Duke Hudson. Cameron Grimes' role right now seems like he's there to put somebody else over. So I'm pretty sure, and I hate that I'm able to call this because it makes it completely unpredictable, but it just feels like he's going to go on there and lose all his money and he's going to go back to being good old Cameron Grimes.
do you think he will translate well on the main roster though?
Yes. He's so unique. He's so different.
Yeah.
We need different. We don't need, copy paste.
Yeah, I agree. He sounds like someone, right? Or he looks like someone that can fit in the Attitude Era.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would be a very lovable character on SmackDown as this, Bitcoin millionaire. Or, I don't know if they want to restart him as the hillbilly guy. Whatever it is, I think he can make it work lah.
Yeah, I think he can like even like, I hope he doesn't end up 24/7 title.
Oh, God.
But I think he can surprise a lot of people and actually have a good story. Can you imagine just a one-off match on SmackDown main event between Cameron Grimes and Roman Reigns?
Oh my God, yes.
I think it would be quite funny and entertaining.
See, that's the thing, right? Like, right now the 24/7 obviously is a joke title. But remember when the Hardcore Champion used to be like a thing where sometimes even the Hardcore Champion will rub shoulders with the main champion?
That's fun.
Yeah, so why not have that? So I honestly don't mind seeing R-Truth somehow, amidst his shenanigans, finding his way into a match with Roman Reigns or Big E, something like that once in a while. Obviously not have it like a long-ass program. I can see someone like Cameron Grimes in that position, yes. And if you put him in the 24/7 championship picture, maybe the 24/7 championship becomes a thing. Maybe it becomes more like... less than what it is. I mean, more than what it is now, which is just a random toilet break.
You know who was my favorite hardcore champion?
Crash?
No, it's weird to say, but I actually really enjoy Undertaker as a hardcore champion.
So random, dude.
Yeah, I know, but why I like that, if you remember when he was the champion, right? He was trading titles with Maven.
Yeah.
He was, and I think why I enjoyed it was because it gave the title some prestige that a main eventer was carrying it. And he was still having his main event segments.
Yeah.
And he was having all these tag team matches and all that against like all the stars. But he was carrying the 24/7 title. I mean, the Hardcore Championship.
Yeah.
So it was a win-win for both, because it allowed Undertaker to not be in the main event spotlight too much, but he gave a rub to the entire division. So I feel like they just needed one guy to hold the title who's a main guy.
Yeah, to legitimize it. Just imagine this, bro. Imagine this, right? Wait, the 24/7 title is on Raw or SmackDown?
It's on Raw.
Raw, unfortunately. Like, you need a heel champion to do this. I feel like they can somehow get it over to SmackDown, and Roman Reigns one day, like in the middle of this fracas, they will come into the ring, all fight for it, right? Roman Reigns is like, why not just pin the fucker, wins the belt, and then gives it to one of the Usos, pretend like, oh, I'm tapping, and then give it one of the Usos. Can you imagine that?
That's a great heel thing to do.
Yeah, and then the Usos can have a few matches here and there. They're the tag team champions, and then the Usos can take the loss to whoever you want to give the title to.
It reminds me of, remember that one time there was an interaction between Brock Lesnar and R-Truth?
Yeah.
It was actually fucking hilarious, right?
Yeah. Wasn't
And
there
there
a
was-
rumor that like Brock really wanted to work with R-Truth after that? 'Cause he had
Yeah,
so much
that's what I was
fun.
thinking. Like, if imagine if Brock, he already F5 R-Truth, then there was this one moment where he actually picked up the 24/7 title. He thought about it,
Yeah.
he teased it, but then he threw it back to R-Truth and he carried the Universal title. But I felt like if it would have been so fucking hilarious if he
Yeah.
just pinned R-Truth then and there.
Oh, and you know what he would, as a heel, you give it to Paul Heyman and say, I don't want this. Nah, you take, you are the champion now. Come, tag me out or some bullshit like that. You can totally make that happen, you know? And then I feel like they are like, okay, so the 24/7 title is like a lower class citizen at this point, you know? And
Yeah,
it's
unfortunately.
it's stuck in that strata. Why not have it like, you know, go up and down a little bit? At least make it, if anything, it becomes more interesting.
Man, okay, I really hope WWE 22, the video game, they're gonna have a general manager mode because
Yes.
fucking hell, I need to make some of my matches come to life, bro.
Oh my god. So who says Morrison versus Reggie for the 24/7 title in the upcoming UK shows? Okay, that just means frigging a Spot Fest, this will be a Cirque du Soleil match.
You know what? Why not, man? Fucking hell, just give Ricochet the title.
Oh yeah, Reggie versus Morrison versus basically all the high flyers get together in one ladder match and just do some crazy shit lah.
So it becomes a de facto cruiserweight title, lah. That's what you're saying.
pretty much. Okay, main event NXT. Here we go. HalloweenHavoc. Tommaso Ciampa versus Braun. Don't call me Rex Steiner. Breaker.
Oh,
For
that sucks.
the-
I still hate the name. Hate the name.
For the NXT Championship. Great promo package. I mean, look, Tommaso Ciampa at this point, he is the veteran. Like, he's the figurehead lah of NXT. And with everybody losing their titles, were they trying to be like, ooh, is it Braun Breaker's time? Is Ciampa going to lose his title too? So
Yeah, but it's clearly too early. I mean, even if the writing is on the wall, as great as Braun Breaker looked in the match,
Yep.
I think he gave a great performance and account for himself. But it was the right decision for sure, in my opinion.
do you want to see Braun Breaker turn heel?
He does have the heel tendency. He does have the Steiner aggression there, right?
Yes.
You know what would be cool? I think it would be cool that he continues pursuing the title from Ciampa and then turns heel in the process because he keeps getting frustrated that he can't win the right way
Yeah.
against Ciampa.
Okay, and then he, resorts to some shenanigans, gets the win finally. Yeah, I can dig that. Like, the thing is, okay, now that Tommaso Ciampa has defeated Braun Breaker, right? And we don't have to go into the match because it was a good match. It's Tommaso Ciampa. He's a veteran, No, we don't have to talk too much about that. Who's next?
I think the kind of reign that Ciampa is going to go for is he's probably going to give a lot of opportunities to all the young guys to challenge him.
Yep.
I don't see like a legitimate contender on his level fighting for the title because I know Johnny Gargano is probably not going to contend for the title.
He's busy putting over the North American title scene.
Roderick Strong is busy with the cruiserweight title
And being boring.
Yeah, so there's no one on his level.
Yep.
The only one I can think of is, as weird as it sounds, if Santos Escobar goes up to the main title.
Ooh, actually, I would love to see that because if anybody is established in NXT right now as the next heel guy, I would like to see him. Actually, yeah, I would. And at the same time, put over Legado del Fantasma.
Did Santos win the North American title before?
Yeah, he was a North American title for a while.
Yeah, so
champion.
he really cleared both like so-called undercut championships.
Yeah.
I think the most realistic next is for him to go for the main title, right?
Exactly. And have Braun Breaker be the third person in this mix somehow there too,
Yeah.
Just very quickly jumping back to the North American Championship scene, what do you think of Carmelo and Trick and Dexter and Gargano and their whole Halloween shenanigans?
Yeah. Man. It's in a weird way, it kind of made Carmelo have a bit more personality.
Yeah, it did.
I really enjoy Carmelo being the winning of the title, winning it from Isaiah Scott.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing though is what I find very annoying because Carmelo during the actual thing, do you remember during the breakout tournament he was like, oh yeah, he was like babyface.
Babyface. Yeah,
And
babyface,
then
yeah.
you know, NXT 2.0 comes along, and then he talks to his friend one time, and all of a sudden he become bad guy. Bad influence, is it?
The Strick Williams lah, blame that guy.
Yeah. So he's the one who turned him heel, made him into a bad guy.
Bro, I was thinking, is Carmelo, does he remind you a bit of Michael B. Jordan?
Oh my god, he does. You're right. He's like
That's how I'm trying to think, like his face looks so familiar. Then I look, he look like that fucking Black Panther villain.
yes, Killmonger. He should become no, he shouldn't. That would be a caricature. But I mean, definitely a lot of potential. And Johnny Gargano has become the backstage vignette guy somehow. He's been involved in all these nonsense backstage vignettes.
You know what's funny?
But
Just a couple of years ago, people said that Johnny Gargano got no personality.
yeah.
And then now he's like the most charismatic guy in NXT. So fucking weird, the transition.
Do you feel like he's doing it on purpose? Like, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to wrestle less. I'm going to be in skits more. And I'm going to have fun.
Yeah. I think it's also a way to show off his personality. And I think if Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon is watching Johnny Gargano, they actually might realize, hey, this guy actually has the potential to be a great character and can be a great wrestler in the main roster. I see, bro, in a weird way, I see a lot of similarities between him and Seth Rollins.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you're saying.
I do.
Yeah.
And going back to Carmelo Hayes, I think Carmelo Hayes has the potential to be like a main draw in NXT. Bro, he's a good-looking guy. I mean, he's a good-looking man. I think he got the potential as a wrestler. If so-called Ciampa is giving opportunities to all the young guys, I would love to see a one-off match between Carmelo Hayes and Ciampa.
Didn't they already have a match?
They did, but like now the situation is different because both of them are champions. Right. So there's some callbacks that can be done, but I think that's a great opportunity for him.
There you go. Okay, that's Halloween Havoc. If you were to give it a number grade upon 10.
Okay, this is weird, but I think this is the best NXT 2.0 show that they've put out.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I would give it a 7.
Okay.
A decent 7.
You know what? That's actually very fair. I would give it about 6.5 to a 7. So I think
I feel that
yeah.
I think the only way to enjoy NXT now is to accept that it's not going to be the NXT of old.
Right.
And just see it as like, this is a developmental show and this is an opportunity to see the future stars of WWE. So if you look at it from that mindset, right, I think you can enjoy the show more. You can say like, okay, I like this guy I think got potential. I like this guy got potential. If you want to enjoy it and say like, I think I want to see a great 5-star wrestling match, that one you can say goodbye lah. That one is not coming back.
Yeah, because the indie style 5-star matches, they're all on. It's straight up sports entertainment, right? Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard style, freaking 80s, 90s. Which, you know, if you love that era, I suppose it could be interesting for you, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's interesting to see who will be the next. Obviously, there are a few people they are obviously pushing, but beyond that, it's kind of tough to watch NXT, not gonna lie. Okay, very quickly then, let's talk about some of the other Halloween shenanigans on AEW's side. I mean, this is not Halloween, but it's horrible. Cody, let's talk about our favorite topic on this podcast. Cody going into the ring once again, doing his long drawn out promos, and he went through the whole, when I hooked, like I remember this, right? When he hooked the hands, he wanted to do a totally different move. It's like, okay, we get it. You're trying to foreshadow or imply Triple H. Yeah. Like, he's so into himself. Like, I almost feel like, okay, he's doing this on purpose and he's purposely making himself a heel.
Yeah. I feel like the fact that he's not giving the audience what he wants and then reframing it as like, I'm trying to be better than that. I'm not going to take the easy way up.
Yeah.
That might sound like a babyface promo to him, but actually that sounds even more heelish.
I see. The question is he doing it on purpose? Like, he literally said, I will not turn. Like, I will not turn heel or turn. Yeah.
Ask you a question, bro. Is this the first time in history, right? Like, if you think about it, that a character in wrestling is acknowledging or breaking the fourth wall to the audience and telling them, like, I will not become a bad guy. Like, is it the first time? Yeah, he's like, a wrestler is acknowledging a heel face turn.
Do you remember John Cena when he was getting booed a lot? And there was this one promo he did in the ring where he was like, maybe I'll do a dance. Maybe I'll do a heel turn, and he actually said so. That's the only time I actually remember somebody sort of like, but that was like hint. This was like, nah, it's out there. I will not turn. I could have done the pedigree, but I will not turn. Oh, I'm Cody.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like it does sound honorable, like if as a character that he's not gonna. No. I mean, like, I'm just looking at it from his point of view. Like, he might think that, okay, this is an honorable thing to do. I'm gonna show the fans that I love you too much to betray you guys and be a bad person, blah blah blah. But can you imagine, bro? Can I ask you this weird question? Imagine he cut the exact same promo, but in the ECW arena. Fuck, the audience will be like, fuck you, Cody. Fuck you, Cody.
I feel like they're almost already doing that. Also, Tabanan, how you doing? It's good to see you. Cody, baby, face forever. Okay. If anything, I appreciate that all of a sudden he's more interesting. That is he really that? Like, there's literally this question: is he delusional? Is he being ultra heavy-handed, or does he know he's doing it and therefore slowly becoming a heel by being delusional?
But if you think about it, the genius of Cody, right? The fact that we have been debating about this week in and week out, doesn't that really shows you that he kind of is stringing us along?
Yeah. Or is it a thing of he can't turn heel because he has to be a good guy because he's off hosting reality shows on TNT?
He did acknowledge that. He did say, like, if I got a bit too Hollywood for you guys, I apologize, right? But more than his promo, right? You know what I find even more interesting?
What's that?
A lot of people didn't or forgot about Malachi Black cutting a very short but very profound promo backstage. Remember, he said that you thought that you beat me. You thought that you have gotten one over me, but is that really the case? Like, he said something along the lines. I'm just paraphrasing. But
is he implying that he already turned him, or as in he turned the crowd on him? I got that. I got that.
Yeah,
yes.
and we talked about it last week, right? Maybe that's exactly what the whole point of Malachi Black is. So that's why I didn't mind him taking the loss, because I think that he actually won the war that he has turned. If not turned Cody, turn the crowd against him, which is definitely what happened.
Bro, see, that's the thing. And maybe this is the beauty of it, right? Because we're here arguing, I want to propose that this is all just, I'm just saying it to react to what the crowd has reacted to. That this was shit booking, but now we're just going with it and we're like, yeah, we meant to do this the whole time. Haha, see? We turned here. You know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah, I do know. I feel that,
which makes it either really annoying or really brilliant.
That's why I say I like this gray area, because at the end of the day, I feel that we will never know for sure. And that's what makes it great. There is a case study of this happening in real life.
Sure.
With the Yes movement. Like, there was real reports that actually Daniel Bryan wasn't supposed to go to the main event, but because of the crowd, they actually turned their booking on the fly, and then they make it seem like it was their idea all along. But I think in this scenario, it was by design, because everything points towards him knowing, short of him acknowledging it.
I will not turn.
How full of himself can he be?
I know. I love it. You know what? Was that the first time we've said something positive? Okay, maybe I've said something positive.
I mean, it's not really positive because you're still shitting. Okay, but can we all agree that actually Cody's segments are becoming some of the highlights of AEW Dynamite? Because you kind of want to know what he does.
I don't know if highlight is the right word. It's like that irritating itch that you want to scratch. Like, okay, fine, tell me what the hell you're doing. You know, like, did I get it right, or did I get it right? Now it's just an irritating side quest that you need to finish because it keeps popping up in your game.
But one thing I think Cody is doing the right thing is he's always eliciting a reaction from the audience, including us. I feel like no matter what he does, whether he divides people, he makes people think a lot about him, but people always react to him. I'm just thinking, bro, if you compare to some of the wrestlers on the WWE, none of them can get this kind of reaction from the crowd like Cody is. Sure.
Wow. I mean, he did put himself in the position. I think the issue here is too that he is able to make these calls and tweak himself and do whatever he wants because he's in a position of power. You know what I mean? Which makes it makes him unlikable, right? If it was just some other guy, for example, who's being booked like that, I feel like the smart fans won't be quite as harsh. But because we know, like, oh, you're calling the shots, so you're making, no matter how this pans out, you are going to benefit no matter what.
I believe that, okay, seeing the rest of the EVPs as reference, everyone else have turned heel.
Yeah.
So everyone else have succumbed to the dark side because they know it's better for their character. So I believe Cody Rhodes knows that is his trump card, but I think he's just finding the right time to use it.
Well, I mean, if he were to turn heel, and it pretty much is a matter of when, right? At this point, when he does turn heel, he has a lot to go off of. So we can look forward to more 20-minute promos from Cody Rhodes. Yay! And then Arn Anderson taking out his Glock.
I tell you, bro, 1 year from now, Cody Rhodes will be a heel world champion. Mark my words.
Bro, heel world champion making like Triple H length promos.
Yes, like opening the show for 20 minutes, the whole segment, confirm one.
God! Oh, shut up, man. Talk about his dad, talk about his wife, talk about his mixed race child. Like,
he keep talking about how his wife is the hottest girl, he doesn't deserve her. And I'm like, fuck off lah. Stop it. Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes is not even the hottest black girl in AEW right now. What are you talking about?
I mean, Brandy is beautiful. Let's not, let's get that right. She is beautiful, but yeah, and he's the husband. Why? Of course, he's gonna say that his wife is the most beautiful. He just right now is just coming across as okay. Let me take you back to secondary school. When you're in school and you're just trying to get by, and there's always one shitbird in the class that has all the answers, always says the right thing. He's probably the freaking prefect of the school. Did you not dislike this person? He's like, ooh, and he's a kiss ass. He kisses ass to the teachers, but actually he's a bit of a piece of shit as well. But
sounds
not
like
in front of
personal experience, lah, bro.
No, but don't we all know somebody like that?
Yeah, I do. I agree. That's the thing. It's what's so funny is that I believe Cody 2 years ago was the biggest baby face in all of wrestling. Come on, let's be honest.
Well,
he was seen as the messiah.
That's only because he was like the guy who fled the evil WWE empire and started his own empire. So yeah, he became de facto face. But now it's almost like you live long enough to be. What was that quote from Batman?
You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah, he's become the villain.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect storytelling, bro. So I think it's just you gotta enjoy the ride, man.
Perfect storytelling, or is it just what's naturally happened and he's just riding the wave?
And that's the magic of it.
We'll have to wait.
The magic.
We'll wait 10 years for the Tell All podcast, and we'll have podcasts from Tony Schiavone, from good old JR. They'll have backstage stories. I can't wait for that shit. This
bro, there will be.
Pro wrestling
will be an autobiography. There will be an autobiography written of Cody Rhodes. It will be called "I Will Not Turn."
Oh God! See, you can't trust the autobiography that he writes. We have to wait for Kenny Omega's, for Chris Jericho, for every other person's autobiography. Pro wrestling, bro, is the story that keeps going on and on. The drama keeps going.
I need to have a AEW tell-all autobiography one day. This needs to come out, man.
Yeah, for sure. You know it's going to be there. And hey, who knows? Maybe in the future when that actually happens, this will be on the AEW network with all WWE content because they bought them over. Jang.
Yeah. Hey, wait, quick thing. I wanted to say as well. Speaking of network and tape libraries, right? Do you hear the news about ROH temporarily closing down?
Yes. So ROH is All Elite soon, is it?
No. So Ring of Honor, they announced that they are releasing all their wrestlers from their contracts, and they're gonna go through a rebrand. And I don't know, I think they take the first quarter of the year out, and then reconvene again.
Yeah.
But this means a couple of things. First, there's gonna be a whole bunch of free agents coming out. Some of the free agents are quite well known. So you have people like what's that guy's name? Who's the one that looks like a pigeon of death? Marty Skrull.
Oh, Pigeon of Death. Yes, Marty Skrull, yes.
Is the plague guy. You got Marty Skrull, you got the Briscoe brothers, you got the guy that did the Ric Flair impersonation, the Jay Lethal.
They all sound like All Elite guys, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's true. So that's one thing. But another more interesting thing is that their ROH tape library is for sale as well.
Ooh. Well, actually, Would the WWE get it if a lot of their okay, who was from ROH that's in WWE now? That's the question. Is it worth them getting a bunch of guys that are going to be in or are currently in AEW? It might not be worth that. You know what I mean?
If you think about it, okay, because AEW have a lot of stars who actually have their starts in Ring of Honor. You have Bryan Danielson, you have CM Punk,
Yeah.
and then there's not, and
Adam
then Kenny
Cole.
Omega, Young Bucks.
Yeah. So
Adam Cole had, yeah.
this might actually benefit AEW more if they bought the tape library than WWE.
Because actually, if you think about it, WWE doesn't. I think the reason why they're focusing NXT and all that into like more of their own thing and not taking more of the indie talent is exactly because of this. So they can actually control their footage. So I don't think they find the ROH footage as appealing as it was maybe like a year ago when they were buying everyone.
But unless, well, then again, Tony Khan has more money. Actually, this could be ROH's, their management's way of cashing in quickly because they know it's going to be a bidding war. WWE can buy the footage and just shove it into some hidden corner on the WWE network. Like, oh yeah, we got ROH footage, but I actually don't know, like, you have to click 10 times just to get there. You know what I mean? Just make it hard to access.
Yeah, but it's such a shame because I feel ROH has a very important position in the wrestling ecosystem.
Sure.
I feel like if you are an indie wrestler, I think you want the first level you want to make it like in like the main independence is like ROH. Like ROH will give you that second level credibility before you actually launch into the main promotions.
I think we can both agree that ROH's tape library is better served in AEW's hands than WWE's hands, right?
Yeah, I agree as well.
Because there is absolutely no motivation on Vince McMahon's part to promote his ROH library because all the guys from ROH are over in AEW, or most of them anyway, a high percentage of them.
Yeah, and he already has like tape footage of like other promotions like Evolve, Progress. So I think he's happy with what he does. But why I find it interesting is because it's almost as if ROH, like you said, is calling for an owner. They're asking to get bought up.
Yeah.
So what if that Tony Khan comes to an agreement to like, okay, I'm gonna do a Vince McMahon ECW thing where I fund ROH on the side, but they keep producing the talent that eventually can go up to be featured in AEW.
Damn, son.
I don't know, man. I think as a wrestler in the near future, like in the next decade, it will be a great time to be a wrestler because there's so many opportunities to work and so many like if I don't want to go down the WWE path, I can go down this AEW path. I go through all these called independence and leagues lah.
You know what's actually kind of sad now that I think about it, right? Let's say I'm growing up and I want to be a wrestler, right? I wrestle indie shows. The logical path now is to go to AEW, right? Not WWE anymore. Like, I feel like if you want to go WWE, you need to be a football star first or a track star. Or you just basically have to have the look. Then they'll train you. You just need to have the star power and the look first, then they'll train you. Versus go and train as a wrestler first. So there's like two very divergent styles and paths now, which is, well, kind of it is good for the pro wrestling industry. It's not so good, I feel, for the WWE. As a lifelong WWE fan, it's like, ooh, okay, so wow, are we gonna get nothing but sports entertainment?
But I do trust the people after Vince McMahon. Like, I trust the William Regals, the Triple H. If they still remain in power after this, I think they can kind of right the ship a bit.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how we got to that from Halloween, but anything else from Dynamite that jumped out at you? Oh, can I talk about very quickly Rampage from last week? Yeah,
sure. But before we go to Rampage, I just want to take one more thing about AEW. The Dynamite's main event, I think we talk about that. They had like that 5-on-5 Elite versus Dark Order Halloween themed multi-man tag team match. It got a lot of shit online.
Because it was a big clusterfuck. It was a very choreographed. It was a very indies, very Young Bucks match lah.
Yeah, that's one thing. But some interesting backstage notes that I read about the show.
Okay.
Apparently, the Elite wanted to come out and dress up as the Squid Game.
Yes, but the network didn't want that because they didn't want a reference to another show that, would make you turn away lah.
That's one thing, and also I think because of the gore and the death and like the violence of the Squid Game, that's one thing. But so the weird thing is they actually had to rewrite their segment 3 hours before Dynamite started.
Okay. I mean,
So-
technically they could have, would still have done all the same spots. It's just that how did they find all the props within 3 hours? That's pretty impressive.
Okay, and that's one thing. Getting the props is one thing. But you know what they did? They actually had the guy who does all the AEW team to create a Ghostbuster-like team for them within 3 hours.
That's
as
pretty
well.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so the backstage news that came out was like they told the composer and said like, hey, we need to come out with the team. Obviously, we cannot use the Ghostbuster team because of copyright, right? So can you create something similar in the next 3 hours? So this motherfucker was writing and composing the music as AEW was already coming live.
Wow.
He was still doing it. So
Wow.
they actually, it was a very close shave in terms of how they managed to put it out. But the fact that they actually got it done was quite impressive.
Yeah, that is very impressive. And as someone who does music, you know, you're a rapper, right? You in that process as well. You know that this shit takes a long time.
Bro, it's fucking hard, bro. I mean, the fact that they have a reference of Ghostbusters, yeah, that's not bad. But if you think about getting the props, that means, right, they were actually coming up with another guy instead of the Marshmallow Man, where they did the double swerve.
Yep.
So that was, I think, great. And actually, I did enjoy the show, like the fact that Adam Page was like the guy coming out, and then they had Brandon Cutler.
I mean, it was
handcuffed.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. You know, not gonna lie, but sometimes I am
harmless fun, lah.
Yeah, it's harmless fun. Sometimes I think we can be guilty of being too smart for our own good. It ruins the moment, right? But when, like the moment when Adam Page revealed himself, the crowd just went ape shit, went banana. And so that goes to show how over Adam Page is, which is good. Which is very, very good, right? The worst thing that could have happened is when he reveals himself and the crowd's like, oh.
Yeah.
You know?
So as much as like, I know people like shit that, okay, this one is choreographed, this is like too hokey and whatever it is. For a main event Halloween theme match, they actually progressed their main storyline.
Yeah.
They had the Adam Page reveal, you're right. When I watched it live, I was like, hey, this fucker is over, yeah.
Yeah, very.
The crowd was reacting like crazy to him. So like, that's great lah for him.
So I didn't hate it quite as much as most of the people online. So we'll just leave it as that, I suppose. Anything else of note you want to talk about? Oh, there's the whole Chris Jericho thing. So now they're going to have a, 5-on-5 at Full Gear.
Full Gear.
Yeah,
and they're going to choose
top team.
3 guys from ATT, right? So I think the intrigue will be who they're going to choose. And I think we talked about it just now. Like,
yeah, Junior Dos Santos is going to be one of them, and it's going to suck.
Yeah,
because nobody wants to see
Jorge
that.
Masvidal is the guy that I really want to see in the ring and actually have a match. I think he will be. He's like the closest thing to a Conor McGregor that wrestling can have as a crossover. You know?
Yeah. Then of course we had MJF and Darby Allin. Furthering their feud, which is cool. I think 2 of the pillars of the new generation of pro wrestling, as they've said before. I think that's a good setup.
Yeah, I think so too. And also, I mean, we can switch over to Rampage really shortly, but the World Title Eliminator Tournament, I just wanted to say about how there has been some interesting matchups. There's also have been some interesting botches as well.
What, like the fact that Daniel Bryan keeps getting put up against faces?
Yeah, that's one thing. And it's clear that we're gonna put Bryan Danielson as like one of the like finalists for
One of
sure.
the favorites, yeah, of course.
Yeah. But do you think, bro, based on how they are booking Moxley, do you think he is hinting at a heel turn?
I don't know. Maybe I don't care at this point. If they do turn him, but here's the thing: he's one of those characters that he's kind of heel face anyway. You know, he does whatever he wants whenever he wants. As a face, he does heelish things. So what would make him a heel? By beating up a face?
I think there are some rumors, and of course, now that we're transitioning to Rampage, like after the Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston match, do you see the interview? CM Punk was doing an interview, and then Eddie Kingston come and like disturb him a bit.
Yeah. What does that mean? Is Eddie and Mox turning?
Yeah.
Eddie, I think, has too much charisma to be hated.
But I feel like the way they're telling the story, it seems as if pitting Eddie against Bryan and Punk eventually means that what if both Moxley and Kingston become a heel tandem now? Because you've been a face tag team, right? Now they become a heel tandem.
Sorry, I had to
Bless you, my
sneeze.
friend.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, like between the two of them, they might square off on a one-off with Bryan Danielson and CM Punk.
Oh,
I think that would be a great match to watch. Think about it.
at Full Gear, perhaps at one of the
Cool.
other
I mean,
pay-per-views?
maybe not Full Gear, but maybe like one of the Dynamite episodes, because like Full Gear obviously will be the finalist, will be Bryan Danielson.
Mhm.
And I think here's my early predictions, right? John Moxley is actually going to make it to the other end of the bracket as the other finalist.
Yeah, and so
Seeing as how
they'll
things are going to go off. Because
Yeah.
he's definitely going to beat Orange Cassidy. Come on.
yeah, so they'll have that match like that Moxley versus Bryan Danielson match, and
Yeah,
I don't
so-
know. Daniel Bryan tries to shake his hand. He's like "fuck with you" and whatever.
Yeah. And what if Eddie Kingston actually fights CM Punk on Full Gear as a one-off match as well?
Ooh.
And both CM Punk and Bryan Danielson beat both of them, and both of them actually got pissed off, and a rivalry ensues.
That's all fun and great and stuff like that. If I could care less about CM Punk and Bryan Danielson at this point, and I know that it's like, oh, how dare you say that, Mr. Young? But at this point, like it seems like they are there to have fun and wrestle the people they want to wrestle. And we've been through this before. CM Punk is wrestling way too much. It's no longer special.
Overexposure, is it?
Yeah, how did we start Dynamite? Like Mussolini. Oh my god.
I see your point. And of course, as a CM Punk fan, you know, I'm torn, bro. Like I want to see him as much as possible, because after I haven't seen him for so long, I just want to spend as much time as I can with him while he's still is interested in wrestling, lah.
Yeah.
You know.
My question is, okay, is him being this altruistic, like, oh, I'm gonna have like close matches with everyone, is this hurting his own brand in the long run? Because he's not going in there and dominating and being the mega star he is. He's actually having like, oh, this guy almost won, Bobby Fish almost won, whoever almost won. And the same can be said about Daniel Bryan too, or Bryan Danielson.
Okay, there's some differences between how, to me, Bryan Danielson is being booked and how CM Punk is being booked.
Yeah.
I think the story that they're trying to tell about CM Punk, I think, is fair, because yes, he might have a great name, but he has been out of the wrestling industry for like 7-8 years. So
Sure.
there is a story to be told that he's a rusty guy. He's trying to build up the reps. He's trying to get back in the groove. And then when he has had enough victory and enough clout, and technically he's still unbeaten, right?
Yep.
Then I think it will make sense in the future for him to have more big time main event matches, because we still definitely want to see a Punk and Omega back somewhere down the road, right? Bryan Danielson is booked differently, if you realize. Bryan Danielson is not being booked as this guy having so-called competitive matches. I think he is booked like his American Dragon days, where he is a great wrestler, a machine who is finishing off matches in various and different ways and showing off his arsenal.
Yep.
He is wrestling with much more freedom than he did in WWE. Like WWE, you can tell he had a move set. He had to do this, he had to run. And all that. But now, bro, if you realize the last 3 matches that he had, right, all have ended in different submissions.
Yeah. Heel hook, freaking whatever's.
Yeah, he did the Roman Reigns guillotine.
Yeah.
I think he did like a shoulder clamp, whatever it is. But the point is, I think he is showcasing his mastery of wrestling even more. So that Bryan Danielson is a fully formed wrestler showing off his ability as the best wrestler in the world. CM Punk is still trying to feel his way. This is a story what I'm feeling like. He's trying to feel his way back to relevance, and fighting against the young talents. I think in his eyes feels like, okay, it might be not say easy meat, but it's his way of him getting back in the groove, but also getting the shine on the younger talent.
But my big issue here is that if we are seeing him every single week, and he's either on Rampage or on Dynamite, you know, and Mussolini, kicking off the show, then seeing him wrestle no longer becomes a special event. Like, you know, when Brock Lesnar shows up, it's still a special event, right? Like, you know, it's a big deal. Or if we see CM Punk on commentary every other week, it's like, okay, it's him again. So how long? And you know, us wrestling fans, we are notoriously bad for having short attention spans. So how long, like, is the glow going to be gone? In 6 months? 3 months?
I feel like CM Punk is due like a big matchup in Full Gear. And then he needs to like change up his presentation a bit. Like Like I said, like he could be in a tag team. That would be interesting. Or he could have like a big feud where he gets injured. You know, like how, you know, when Edge got injured after his greatest wrestling match of all time against Randy Orton, and then he retired at Royal Rumble. Actually, that kept him fresh because I felt like he was reinvigorated in 2021. So maybe CM Punk just needs that time off. And I know he will definitely take time off because CM Punk is not going to be as much as we know that he's okay. Now we appreciate that he's wrestling week in and week out, but I know how he is. He's not going to enjoy it after a while. He's like, okay, I want to take my holiday. Give me 3 weeks, 1 month off. I'm sure he's going to do that for the holidays.
And that might be a smart thing for him to do, honestly, just to go away for a while so that people can miss him again after week of like Mussolini.
Do you want to see Punk eventually become an AEW World Champion?
I don't necessarily think he needs to be a world champion, you know, like,
but maybe for the legacy of that title.
Maybe at some point, right? Well, we need somebody like an Adam Page to dethrone Kenny Omega first, or maybe a TNT champion. I don't know.
So that's the thing. I feel like there's so many ways that this can go, and there was recently a article that I read on Bleacher Report, which I thought was very interesting. They were comparing the main event scenes in both WWE and AEW, who had the better main event scenes. So they brought this very, I think, a compelling argument. They said that WWE had a more diverse main event scene.
Okay.
In the sense that not just people of color in the main event scenes, they had very different fighting styles in terms of main event scenes. So like the matchups have the potential to be more blockbuster level than AEW. But AEW would definitely deliver the better wrestling match among their main eventers. And also the AEW would have the more much more compelling combinations of main events matches.
Okay.
Because they have multiple people that can legitimately challenge for the title who was well built up.
Sure.
So the consensus that they ended up with was the main event matches in WWE will be the bigger draw, but the AEW main event matches will be the better wrestle match.
Who judges what is the better wrestle match though?
As in this was done by the Bleacher Report sports writers lah.
Oh, okay lah. So it's still subjective at the end of the day, right?
It's opinion, yes.
Yeah.
But I think what I took from that article is that I think AEW actually has a lot of potential matchups that us wrestling fans would want to see for the title. Punk versus Omega, Brian Danielson versus Omega again, Adam Page versus Punk, Adam Page versus Adam Cole. You know what I mean? You know that's going to happen eventually as well.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so even Moxley, if he turns heel, I think he can definitely get back into the world title contention as well.
Oh, Irvin has a very good point, by the way. Bleacher Report is owned by TNT.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But if you've been following Bleacher Report for a long time, they do articles on WWE and AEW all the time. So I mean, maybe they have a reason to promote AEW more for sure.
But they do need to try to at least look objective lah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think they do a good job, of doing so. But like I said lah, if Punk becomes champion in AEW, I think it's more for the history of the title, the lineage. But if Brian Danielson becomes a champion, I do see him as a fighting champion.
Right. There are a lot of people who definitely should be in that list in terms of, lineage champion. Like, did we forget that Christian Cage is still in AEW?
Yeah, but he lost his impact, so he's like he nothing already lah.
Like where did he? Oh my god, like that.
No, but can we give love to him? Like, okay, even though he's fucking underrated, right? He low-key has main evented 3 main promotions this year.
Well, I wouldn't call Impact main, but okay, sure.
Yeah, but okay, Royal Rumble, he did.
Yeah, he was
All
there.
Out. And Impact. I mean, no one can say that they've done it. So okay.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll give you that. Very quickly now, the only reason I wanted to bring up Rampage from last Friday was their main event.
Okay.
Why are you having your women's champion, right? The biggest, arguably the biggest star in terms of like the female division, having a match with Abaddon, taking thumbtack spots. Why? What, like
Abalone.
What, like, first of all, okay, if you want to do a program with Abaddon, that's fine. Like, she's this weird, creepy character. Okay, that's great, right? But like, I don't think they've been building any sort of a storyline here. And then in a random match like this, you're bringing out the thumbtacks already. Like, who booked this? The Young Bucks?
Yeah, it's so weird. But I don't know, man. Do you think it's Britt Baker's call? Because I think Britt Baker seems to enjoy all these hardcore matches. That's the match that made her and Thunder Rosa. What?
Sure, but if it's her call, then she's making the wrong call. You know, she's already over as a heel. And
she doesn't need to do it.
Yeah, she doesn't need to. You can do it at a pay-per-view. Do it when it counts, not on a random Friday night in the main event. And we all know that Rampage's main event is actually the first match, not the last match. People are completely worn out from wrestling by the last match. So technically, people have already tuned out. And what was before that? It was some crap nobody cares about anyway. Like the main event was Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston, wasn't it? Was it CM Punk?
I mean, it was the first. It was the first match. Yeah, Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston.
If you look at Rampage, the first match is the main event. Is the big money match. The last match is sort of like the okay, fine.
It was more of like the dark match. You think about it, like, the one that sent the crowd home happy.
Yeah, exactly. Match. So why? And a lot of the times they take both back to back, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, why? Like, I didn't get it because Halloween. Oh God. Yeah. You can do Halloween, but you don't need thumbtacks. You don't need to make
It is clear that they wanted to choose Abaddon in that spot because of her character. Yeah, for sure. But okay, but look at Abaddon. What do you think of her character? Do you think she has potential?
I need a reason as to why she's a zombie. Yeah, she's like look, at least like Malachi Black, there's like a reason, like he's this brooding. Like, why is she what she is?
Yeah, okay. Maybe they should have told a story or like have a vignette to introduce her to the audience.
I guess even Mei Ying had they had vignettes there. She's some 1,000,000,000-year-old fucking I don't know what shit. As ridiculous as it was, at least they tried to, say it, right? But here it's like she's a zombie. Huh? What?
Okay lah. In defense of Abaddon, I think you cannot deny that she's definitely a very unique character. She definitely brings something different to the women's division.
Sure.
And as weird as it sounds, I think for a horror character gimmick, I think she wrestles quite well. she could definitely go toe to toe with Britt Baker lah.
Sure.
And Britt Baker is gearing up, no pun intended, for her title match. I think she's fighting. Is she fighting the NRJ or is it Tainara Conti? I can't remember for the title.
Tainara Conti, who, by the way, as amazing as she is, looks, I don't think she's ready for Britt Baker.
Yeah, she's not. So I feel like, and this is the problem because they created a TBS championship. So now they have another division to contend with. Yeah. So they need to start bringing more of these like wrestlers that's not really getting a lot of recognition, more exposure. So I think it makes sense for an Abaddon to go on the main roster because not say that she's the best or the worst, but like you can't bring back, you're not gonna bring back fucking Nyla Rose again. But come on,
why not? At least there's a reason. Like, what is at least give me some throwaway reason for Abaddon to exist. You know?
I think the issue you have with her is just that they didn't build her up properly or didn't give her a reason to appear.
Or maybe I missed some sort of a package or a throwaway line that Excalibur said. Or whatever. But like, why is she a zombie? Is this a mind game? I guess it's a mind game. It's always a mind game at the end of the day, right? Tubbs says, did we get a story behind the Boogeyman? I'm trying to think. What were the origins of the Boogeyman?
Bro, Boogeyman was literally John Cena having a backstage promo and she was talking and he opened the door at one time, got a Boogeyman. I'm the Boogeyman and I'm coming to get you.
Was it a Halloween thing?
I don't know if it was a Halloween thing, but I remember that thing happened and then he closed the door. Then John Cena looked at the camera and was like, what the fuck just happened? That's literally how he got introduced to WWE.
Right, and then he became a recurring character. So
yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to Google this. I'm going to Google this. Boogeyman WWE origin. Because now I'm actually curious as to how he was... I don't remember how he was introduced.
No, it was a John Cena segment. That's how I remember it.
So then what did the crowd pop for that?
They were like, what the fuck just happened? No, it was literally in the middle of a John Cena promo.
Right.
He was walking down the hallway and then he talking to the camera, blah, blah, blah. Then he suddenly turned around and he like opened the door for some reason and then
I'm the Boogeyman.
Appeared.
Right. Well, at least
he closed the door.
Yeah, and then what about Abaddon then? What was her origin?
Abaddon got no origin lah, for sure lah. But I guess, like I said, Abaddon is interesting to look at.
Interesting indeed. Anyway, hold on. Did my screen freeze? Am I frozen to you?
Yes, you are frozen.
Oh my god!
Time, Mr. Young.
It's my time. It's my turn to get frozen.
My time is now.
Your time is up. My time is now. Okay. Anything else from the world of pro wrestling interest you this week that we want to talk about?
It was okay. Oh, now your screen disappeared, Mr. Young. How?
I know. I'm resetting it.
Okay. But yeah, for me, I feel that it was a okay week for wrestling. The Halloween team matches, there was a bit of hit or miss, but I feel WWE, AEW's presentation of the Halloween teams were better. Let's not even talk about Rick Books and Nakamura match and Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin. Come on, let's not talk about that. The rest was fine.
I'm very done. I'm very done with Rick Books. We talked about this. They are go away heat at this point.
Yeah. But like looking ahead, I think November will be a great wrestling month. I mean, you got Survivor Series. That always is an interesting thing to look out for. And AEW has Full Gear. So like we got two big, back-to-back pay-per-views from both promotions. So I mean that's fun to look forward to.
Right. Definitely looking forward to Survivor Series, especially the cross-brand. Just imagine though if they could really truly do a cross-brand fight with AEW. Just imagine a world where Tony Khan and Vince McMahon shake hands and go, all right, let's do a mega pay-per-view. But of course it's never gonna happen. So unless the old man kicks and then maybe we get Tony Khan and Triple H shaking hands.
I think Tony Khan and Triple H might be able to do something. It'll be fun.
Damn. Anyway, before we go though, we definitely want to share this with you, okay? Because as you know, my main man over here, foreign in the building. Last Friday was his birthday. Last Friday was also the release of his latest single and the video. So we're not going to play you the full video, okay? We still want you to go and check out the video for yourself. Maybe we give like a preview, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, man. I mean, I'm fine if you want to play the whole video as well. But guys, please check it out on YouTube. Please stream it on Spotify. We would love your support, and there's wrestling in it, so please check it out.
Let me pull it up. It's Foreign Deadlock featuring Charles Inero, just the nicest and most talented guy as well.
Yeah.
Can you hear it, bro?
Yeah, man.
Let me full screen.
Let's bust it out.
Full screen this. Hang on. Nope.
I'm gonna blast this shit up, man.
Jill. Oh, I should be quiet.
Hey, who's that handsome guy?
Nobody listen well of black and white. We are slaves to the system, shades of green on every side. While I'm fighting for my freedom, I got demons in my mind. Cause the end of one choice is the start of my decline. Every action has a consequence, you call it Kama Sutra. I was good from all angles from the moment that I meet you. Some choices cannot simply be defined by right or wrong. Deadlock, here's the key, what you doing where I belong.
Okay. If you're wondering about the scenes, the fight scenes, right? It's because this song is featured on the soundtrack of a film. Tell everybody about the film.
It's an upcoming short film, martial arts team. Okay, listen to this part.
Shooter reeling in the ropes. The best there is the best there was to me. It's just a trope.
There you go. You got your pro wrestling references in, of course.
Yeah, man.
It's a boneyard, body bags,
boneyard.
Okay, well, we'll leave some of it for people to find out for themselves in the video. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so I think the great thing about this song is it's actually a official soundtrack for an upcoming short film that's actually having its festival run. So it's actually being featured in a couple of international film festivals, like short action film festivals.
Right.
And yeah, it's a great to me it's a great opportunity for me to kind of expand my songwriting circle, because sometimes as an artist, you sometimes write about yourself, you write about your experiences, can get a bit boring. So it was fun for me to write lyrics based on the main protagonist of the film. Like if you're gonna watch the short film is gonna come out in early 2022 next year. So once you rewatch the show and you listen to the song, you can understand the symmetry behind it.
What's the name of the short film again?
It's also Deadlock as well. It's named after the theme song.
There you go. So anyway, yes, please go check out the video. It is on YouTube. It is streaming on Spotify as well. Like I said, we're not going to play the full thing because we want you to go check it out. Check out those action scenes though, huh?
Dope, right? The action scenes.
Bro, where's your action scene? Why you and Charles not fighting?
Bro, cannot, bro. Like, you have to leave it to the professionals.
I'm expecting like a headlock or a sharpshooter or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? I've never been shy about telling all the wrestlers in Singapore, like, guys, if you ever want a rap theme song, man, I'm your guy. I would love to do a wrestling rap for like one of our pro wrestlers. Maybe what? Statement, Greg, whoever, bro. Whoever you guys want a team, like let's make it happen. Because I would love for like when wrestling comes back to Singapore and wrestling shows are having live shows again. Yeah, I would love to be a part of it. And I think Kick to the Gut would love to be a part of it and support local wrestling as well.
Bro, what about that Kick to the Gut theme song with you rapping? What about that?
Bro, come on, bro. I mean, like season 5, maybe you can save it for something great. Season 5, come on.
That's right. Yeah, you know I can be in the background going, I'm an ass man. Hey, I'm an ass man.
Last week's brought forward. Bro.
That's right. Right. You know who to go to for that. Ass man. Anyway, talking about ass, this has been the week in pro wrestling because let's face it.
Yeah.
Like, okay lah, 60% of it was good. The rest was just ass.
But then again, as a wrestling fan, that's what you get, right? Like, you take the good with the bad. Speaking of bad, I think before we go off, I just want to do a quick mention of Dark Side of the Ring. It was the season finale this past weekend.
You know, I haven't actually watched it. It was about the steroid trials, right?
Yeah, bro. And I think as a long-time fan, you will appreciate this episode, because the main star, the main character of this show, they actually managed to interview WWE's infamous lawyer, bro, Jerry McDevitt.
Oh, okay. But okay, like my thing with Dark Side of the Ring and with a lot of these episodes is, like, with the exception to 1 or 2 episodes, most of it I've either read or heard or seen, as in these stories have been told ad nauseum by 1,000,001 people in the industry and observers, read about articles, stuff like that. So like a lot of the episodes I've skipped because none of it is new to me.
Yeah. But I think as someone who knew about the steroid trials, right, what I appreciate was I think Jerry McDevitt's perspective really made it compelling, because I don't know about you, but like I've always heard about this Jerry guy, like, WWE's lawyers are pretty mean and fucked up and cruel. Like they will really like get you if you like talk shit about WWE and that kind of stuff. And then when I actually met him, I realized, not I met him, but I actually saw him on screen and he was narrating and being part of the show. This guy is fucking a genius. He's like a fucking genius. Like the way they set it up, right, was like this, almost the federal government was trying to take down Vince McMahon to set an example, because they recently, during that time, in the 1990s, set a new law making steroids and all these substances illegal. Before that, in the 80s, it was rampant, right? It was normal. It was legal. So it was as if they were trying to use WWE as this poster child, like, okay, to clean up the industry. Yeah, like a scapegoat, essentially. Irvin, very quickly, following up on chat, Irvin says McDevitt should be an on-screen character. What a legend. Don says felt season ended flat with this show. They're not actually painting WWE in a bad light, which they can't, because, isn't Devitt still their lawyer, or he's retired? Well, I actually did some research on this guy. So he is still a practicing lawyer, but if you Google search him, right, he doesn't appear on WWE's website or anything. He's actually part of a law firm, like he's his own. Yeah, like he's probably either A, still friends with the McMahons, and B, he's not going to shit on his former employer. Like that would be just bad practice. It would not be professional, right? He's still a practicing lawyer, so there you go. He's not going to shit on them. So what did you expect them or him to say? Like, oh yeah, WWE was guilty. Like, of course he's not going to say that. Yeah. But I think I enjoyed this era of WWE because it felt so dangerous, if that makes sense. Do you get what I mean? Like WWE now is so corporate and clean, and they have this image that they are keeping. Wellness program, like, everybody has to follow the letter of the law, whereas back in the day, like pre-Attitude, it was the Wild Wild West lah. Yeah, and the way Vince McMahon was portrayed in this show, and I think he did put out a couple of like media interviews and press conferences during this period when he was being on trial, right? He comes across as modern day Dana White.
Okay.
You know how Dana White is not really politically correct. He will talk shit about his fighters, or he will like say things like, "Yeah, Conor is fucked up." Like he's very refreshingly honest on media, and I feel like the reason why he can do that is because his UFC is not a publicly listed company, right?
No,
it's still private, right?
Yeah.
I think that gives them the leeway that they don't have to answer to stakeholders in that sense lah. So I think WWE, the way they were shooting back and forth at the media during this period, I think was quite entertaining to watch lah. It felt like a movie, bro.
There you go. Okay, it's time for us to wrap up. It's almost 2:00, so thank you so much for hanging out on the podcast, on the video. You can, if you missed anything, always go back and check out the VOD or check out the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever else you get your podcast from. And as always, we say thank you so much for hanging out with us. What are we doing next week? Is Full Gear next week? Are we previewing Full Gear?
Full Gear is actually on the 14th of November, if I'm not wrong. Please correct me. So yes.
Yeah, you are correct.
Full Gear will be the week after. So next week we can preview Full Gear for sure. So I think that will be like our last minute preview of Full Gear. The week after, definitely we will review it. So like how we usually do it, like our double shots, right? Review show. And then the right after that, it will be some Survivor Series. So our November is pretty stacked in the sense of pay-per-views.
I'm looking forward to it. And the way things are shaping up as well is going to be exciting pay-per-views to watch. Full Gear as well as Survivor Series.
Definitely.
So there you go.
I would really love to definitely compare and contrast like Full Gear from the last 2 years of Full Gear as well.
Sure.
To see how much AEW has changed in our 3 years of existence so far.
Well, I mean, arguably the best year in their programming this year. After getting CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, more logical matches, less bullshit, more Cody shenanigans that we love so much on this show.
Less Joey Janela on our screens. I mean, it's a weird bit.
There you go. But we still have Abaddon. So, all right, let's get our hell out of here. Remember, go check out Deadlock on YouTube and on Spotify. Stream the hell out of that song. All right.
Yes,
and
bro,
tonight, come catch me play Guardians of the Galaxy on my Twitch channel, Mr. Young.
Did you downloaded it already? It just came out, right?
It came out last week. I played it on Thursday, so we'll be continuing the adventure. It's a really fun game. It's a very good Guardians of the Galaxy game because it keeps in sync with their characters from the movies. It's different, like it's a different universe, quote unquote, right? But
it's a new storyline as well.
Yeah, it's a different storyline altogether. So the gameplay is fun. Everything is fun. I'm fun. So yeah, on Twitch. It's Mr. Young 98, MISTRYOUNG 98. I will play from 7 p.m. onwards. Yes, that's right. 7 p.m. onwards.
Bro, have fun gaming, bro. You know, I can't wait for you to do a wrestling game because that's when I know I will definitely be there for you, bro.
WWE 2K22 or AEW's game, when that comes out, you know I'm going to be playing the shit out of it. And
Yeah, man.
If there's any game I've ever been good at, it's the WWE games.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Bro, we gotta do an online match one day.
Let's do it. Cheers to that. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Hey, do us a favor, all right? If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit subscribe as well, and we will see you next week. It's Mr. Young.
And it's for in the building, guys. Stream Deadlock.